Here is a fact for every building in Clash of Clans. That includes anything from the home village, build-a-base, and even clan capital. Though I did leave out some that felt almost the same. For example, there's a surprising amount of cannons and barracks in the game, so I just picked the most interesting one, unless it was a fact that I just had to mention. But with that being said, let's get right into it.
Let's do this.
There is an unused level for the spell tower in the game files that uses the skeleton spell. However, this was most likely scrapped very early on based on the Tunnel 15 theme. The spear thrower used to make the same sound as archer towers when firing prior to May 2022. Today, it has its own sound. When the bomb tower was added, it was the first defense to be available in a value pack. In fact, it was the first value pack ever. Throwback to when packs contained gems. Miss the old days. The Hero Hall is the only building that can technically have 3 builders working on it. One upgrading it, another upgrading a hero, and the third one, which is the apprentice, assisting with the build. You can do something similar with the lab, but the lab assistant is not a builder. Because of the relatively slow speed of the air bombs that are launched, it's possible for something like a beta minion to outrun a bomb if it moves away from the bomb fast enough, just like the air bombs and minions from the regular home village. The Archer Tower has the most design changes out of any building, having several levels retextured in 2013, 2016, twice in 2018, and the archers on top of it in 2023. The monolith has an official nickname, if you want to call it that, the Hero Killer, which basically sums up what it's most effective against. The Mega Tesla was the first and only builder-based exclusive building that ever appeared on a loading screen. Weirdly enough, that loading screen takes place in the home village. The Minion Hive is the only building to spawn troops that do not exist anywhere else in the Clash universe. The Tesla is one of the few defenses that underwent some sound changes, sounding like this before June 2013. The clock tower's hand makes a full rotation every 30 seconds. On an unrelated note, you used to be able to pause and resume its boosts if a maintenance interrupted it. However, due to bugs with this mechanic, they no longer pause during a maintenance. The Dark Elixir Barracks, to the best of my knowledge, is the only permanent building to have a seasonal change. Of course, besides the snow buildings used to get back in the day. During the winter holidays in 2014, this is how it looked. I couldn't find the reason why or if it was meant to be permanent, but when the holiday theme was removed, so was the new barracks design. The ruin of the gem mine has a tree that is later used to make a torch. The only damage the reflector cannot reflect is chained damage from a wizard, excluding any damage that destroys it completely, of course. You may have noticed that air defenses undergoing an upgrade have their warheads removed. While they hate it, it's a pretty cool attention to detail. But before 2016, that didn't happen. It just looked like any other ordinary upgrade. Speaking of its appearance, it was the first building to be redesigned in September 19th, 2012, when they changed the color of the rockets. However, they kept using that old design for years in other parts of the game, like the shop. The lava launcher was originally a poison mortar during its concept stages due to it having poison spell-like effects on troops. This was its leaked image at the time. Players even thought that it was going to be a new home village defense. However, it was ultimately revealed that it is not for the home village and that it will be called Lava Launcher for its lava dealing damage over time. Honestly, I think they made the right choice here. The color of the elixir produced in Clash of Clans is exactly the same as the energy in a game called Super Metroid, and this is no coincidence. Supercell stated that Nintendo was a big inspiration. Out of all of the defenses in the game, the clan capital version of the Crusher has the shortest range at 1.7 tiles. As you know, a geared up mortar upgrade is available when it reaches level 8. However, this may have been much earlier during development, as one of the promotional images for the App Store at the time had a level 6 multi-mortar, something that doesn't exist. The zappies the auto outpost deploys are controlled by the master builder himself, as revealed in 3D renders from 2017's Clash Royale release. The clan game's caravan seems to be using the exact same pony used in Clash Royale. The forge is usually housed on a circular island, but in the Justice and Egypt scenery, it is more of a box shape, for anyone who cares. The rocket artillery's rockets are 3D models when in the air. This is not typical for any ammo in the game. Lightning bolt symbols come down onto the Bob hut in the home village when it is active, indicating that it is being remotely controlled via the Bob hut in the builder base, which has lightning bolts shooting up. However, I've noticed that sometimes these buildings desync and they don't do it at all, or even shoot lightnings when it's not active. At least they tried. Between levels 1 and 4, a wizard tower's fireball travels slower, meaning it's possible at these levels for the fireball to miss troops, despite the attack speed never changing. Originally, a second guard post was planned to unlock at Builder Hall 7, but they never went through with that plan. However, one could say that the Auto's outpost was their way of revisiting that idea. A couple levels of the barracks react to you training troops. For example, at level 13, the antennas on the roof spark electricity between them. At level 15, the mouth of the Dragon Rider opens and the sock rises. At level 16, the hand glows and also sparks electricity. And at level 17, it glows from the top. The number of barrels in the builder-based multi-mortar actually represents the amount of shots it fires. The ricochet cannon, along with the multi-archer tower, are the only defenses with a unique construction model. However, this seems to be a feature with merges, so this may change in the future as they add more. The multi-cannon's 8-shot burst is actually more like 4 mini bursts of 2 shots. If you slow it down, you can tell 2 shots come out, and then there is a slight delay between the other 2 shots. Expos under construction luckily count toward the Expo Exterminator achievement. It used to be believed that the giant cannon's ball used to travel forever, as no one saw when it stopped. However, like everything in the game, it does have a limit that can be seen by placing the giant cannon in one corner of the base, and it's shooting the opposite direction. Gold storages are pretty much the same between the home village and builder base, but one thing changes, and it's the shape of the coin. In the home village, the coins are circular, but in the builder base, they are squarish. The Fire Spitter took the title as the fastest shooting defense at 1 shot per 0.0625 seconds. Also unrelated, but the Fire Spitter's sounds are similar to that of a wall wrecker, but with a much higher pitch. The one defense in the builder base that you can have the most of is the Firecracker at 5. At level 2, it also resembles the exact same box the clan game setup has, just with different color firecrackers. When the Inferno Tower was first added, it didn't have a multi-target mode, and actually, you could only build one of them. It was a weird time to be alive. This, of course, changed throughout 2013, but a change that never happened was blue Inferno beams? Yeah, developers once said that the level 7 Inferno at Town Hall 13 almost had blue fire, but for several reasons, they ultimately decided to keep it consistent with the other levels. The Goblin Thrower is one of 3 buildings in the game that spawns troops that you cannot use. The others are the Minion Hive and the Auto Outpost. The Super Sauna's shape is a reference to how some saunas in Finland are shaped, and of course, the game is developed there. The Battle Machine Altar/Banner is the only one that has a build time. This is because you're actually waiting for the Battle Machine to be rebuilt. The Spell Factory is unlocked at Town Hall 5 because that is where you unlock wizards. And according to the Clash lore, the Spell Factory is home to veteran wizards. This is also the town hall where you unlock wizard towers. It is a town hall of magic. Between its 5 levels, the Bob control still shows parts that belong to Auto. This is due to them simply renaming the Auto Hut to Bob Control and keeping the old design. Regular defenses in the single-player maps are the same as their home village counterpart. However, this isn't the case for the cannon in the Payback level. That is a special cannon made for that map. It's considerably weaker than a level 1. In fact, that cannon is not even considered a defense. If you place a hog or giant, it doesn't prioritize it. The blast bow is the only expo type building that doesn't have a mode change. It is also the only one that deals area damage. I'm not sure if anyone considers the Inferno Artillery a completely separate building, but I will. Aside from its color changing before and after its release, it also didn't have any Roman numerals. Its shots will also hilariously chase a troop, even if it means traveling across the map for it. The clan houses have a unique feature in that its description changes depending on if it's occupied by a clan member or not. The clan castle used to be the storage for your magic items at one point, but this was eventually moved over to the town hall. At every level of the workshop, the blueprint sitting in the crate changes to whatever siege machine it unlocks. And if you look even closer, you can see the number of blueprints under it keeps increasing. The clan capital is the largest building in the game, taking a large 6x6 area. It is also the building with the highest HP at 40,000. The original design of the Eagle Artillery teased during ClashCon 2015 was a bit different. It shot a yellow beam into the sky that would drop onto enemy targets, and you could visually see this line stretching across the map. However, in its final release, a couple months later, this was changed to 3 orange artillery shells. I know the boat isn't really a building, but I am covering everything in the outskirts of the village, and this is one of them. In May 2017, when the Build-A-Base was being teased, the destroyed boat was in the water, right? But a glitch caused it to appear in war bases as well. Obviously, it wasn't supposed to be there, but it was funny seeing it float in the mountains as if there was water there. The Battlecopter altar is the only hero altar that has no purpose on defense. Town Hall 17 is the only weaponized town hall with levels, indicated by the Roman numerals of course, that doesn't visually change the more you upgrade it. Although the Electro Owl is not unlocked until Penthouse level 2, the Birdhouse is present starting at level 1. Before the airship was added, and I know this is not really a building, but whatever, it could be seen flying around in players' villages. This wasn't the first time it was teased though. In the short film The Lost and Crown, uploaded in September 2020, it's the airship the troops are using. The Airsweeper's pushback icon uses the same Springtrap's bounce icon, just facing a different way. The Scattershot used to have infinite ammo, similar to cannons and mortars. In dead bases, they were always active. However, a few months later, they restricted its ammo due to complaints that dead bases at Town Hall 13 were far more difficult than previous town halls. If you look closely, the gold mine brings gold in the form of raw ore to be later smelted and turned into coins. When a troop finishes training, smoke appears in the army camp that troop will head to. It is also the only army building that is not bought in the shop and is already in the base when you first open the game. An idle builder will follow you anywhere in the map, and I mean anywhere. Unfortunately though, because he now follows you, the sleeping builder Easter egg is no more. The Star Laboratory reuses the same research icon with the little sword and spell bottle, despite the builder base having no spells to upgrade. The level 5 Dark Spell Factory, which unlocks the bat spell, has legs that resemble a bat. When the factory is in use, its eyes light up. It's the only level that has such a feature. It is also the earliest maxable army building, maxing at Town Hall 12. The level 9 Elixir storage tank seems to be floating on its supports. The roaster's visual changes appear to take us through the journey of the master builder actually finishing the building. At first, it's covered in wood and boards, and over time you see less of it until level 6 when it appears complete. Coincidentally, all of these levels are upgraded in the same builder hole. According to Supercell, Dark Elixir is formed over eons from fossilized black dragon bones. The roof on the helper's hut is made the same way they made their hats. It's the same material and stitching, and you can clearly see the stakes holding it down, unlike a normal roof. To avoid confusion, when the multi-archer tower was added with more than one archer on top of it, they made all of the other regular levels before it have only one. For some reason, the blacksmith is immune to spell damage. This may be because it's listed as a resource building in the game files, as it may have been easier to implement that way. However, that wouldn't explain why goblins don't target it. To this day, it remains a mystery. Not sure if hero banners count as buildings, but they are the only form of untargetable buildings in your village. The healing hut is the first and only building that can heal your army. Sorry, I couldn't find anything that was more interesting than that. And you made it! That's one fact for every building in the game. I understand some of these may not be the most interesting thing in the world. I hope you didn't fall asleep. But I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. I had a lot of fun researching for it. But hey, YouTube thinks you'll like this next video, so if you want to keep watching something, why don't you check it out? As always, Havoc Gaming out. Peace!